swatches. This video I'm just going to show you how you can create unusual pattern designs, maybe not seamless, but certainly unusual ones, using the WidthStamp tool and obviously the pattern editor in Illustrator. WidthStamp comes from Astute Graphics, part of the WidthScribe 2 set. Okay, first thing you do, just object and pattern make. Click OK. And just going to create a solid part here. So I'm just going to quickly intersect. So you've got something for the WidthStamp to work on. Make with preset. And just going to turn that off for now. So first thing to do, you can actually see it certainly isn't seamless. You've got some gaps there. I'm going to make that right from the start. Obviously it depends on the angle. Sometimes you can make 20, 30 or 40. Make it more intense at 50. Obviously at that point you have to change the spacing so you can actually see it. So you can see the design. Again, great for sort of abstract designs, backgrounds, that sort of thing. So change the angle, change the frequency as well. So maybe make it 5, much more rapid, maybe not so effective, but great for maybe for textures. Okay, I want to get rid of that, so I'm just going to 23. You can also use half grid. Now the grids and the grid option are much better probably for, obviously if that's 0, to actually creating a pattern. You can make a grid pattern, just basically lots of lines. You've got waves, you've got zigzag, which was very similar to the other one. Again, you can see the breakup, but you can modify the spacing again. You also change the amplitude, maybe 30. Great. But again, there's always a little bit of a gap. And also, this one's quite nice, concentric circles and concentric squares. And obviously you modify the angle of those as well. Circle spiral, again, creates a nice. Now, saying all that it can't create seamless ones, you can make it look a lot nicer by using the thing that here, use tapering. Now I've set the tapering to, you can actually see it, so it doesn't really ever go to the lines. It doesn't really matter too much. It's really makes much more. So say the spacing, I'm just going to show you a bit better. 4. So it's more sort of cut off anyway. So it's sort of seamless aspect of it is not such an issue. There's no sort of disjointed, it's sort of just like sketched. That's what the nice thing about tapering, it makes it look like it's very sketched. And you can modify that, concentric squares, obviously that's not such an issue. Tapering, concentric circles, again not so, you can still, yeah, you can still see the concentric, you can see it sort of nice touches instead of actually sort of a real sharp aspect to it, disjointed. Now I'm just going to go to zigzag, and again you can see you can create some really intense pattern designs, and it's really good for pattern designs, this thing, for creating. So again they are going to be slightly off, they're not going to be perfect. You can modify the curve, you can actually change the width and change how the pattern looks, and obviously it's not the, you can save that, so I can save that as a copy. Okay, I can modify the spacing, I don't have to go for such huge spacing, maybe 20. And again, I say it's not so bad, the join, when you're using this tapering feature. You can modify the tapering, so you don't have to go that, you can go for 300. Or maybe make it 50. It doesn't have to be so. And you can change the colour, of course. You don't have to go for the colour that I've just got. I can go for red. That's for zigzag and waves, likewise. You've got the waves, and again it's never going to be perfect join, but 45, and you can create nice sort of cut-offs that doesn't look so bad when you're using this tapering field. And I'm going to go for 200 again. And again, you can modify this just to change the actual thing. And I can save a copy of this. Maybe make that more intense. Go down for 10. 10 again, and there you have it. Save a copy. Okay, and once you've done that, once you've finished all that with the WidthStamp, you can come out of that, and of course now you've got the path, so you can just go and select another path, and I'm just going to select that, and I can apply the. It creates obviously slight abstract bits there, but like I say, it looks more like a pattern than certainly when you've got those breaks. But tapering is a great feature as a pattern editor and with stamp. Hope you found this